Okay, welcome to the draft episode for the 2032 season. Your Detroit Tigers at 44 and 24, tops in the American League Metro, a game over those dastardly New York Yankees and their overpowered ass Aaron Judge. Um, but yeah, how has this season started? And it started well. The team's hitting quite well. Zion Rose has 20 home runs through the first. God, how many games has he been in? 54 games? I think we played a few more than 54 games at this point. Um, the rotation's mostly good. Iwata was hurt for the start of the season, and he's kind of struggling. And Matt Scott, I don't know what's going on with him. Like his FIP's over 5, his ERA's over 5, so you can't even say he's getting unlucky. He's just giving up hits and he's walking more people, and I don't know. I don't know why his control. His control has progressively gotten worse over his career. I don't get that. Um, but yeah, Scott's struggling, but Kim's pitching really well. Yamamoto and Jober obviously pitching well as usual. Shulver was pitching really well, but I guess he had a couple blow up starts this month, or relief appearances this month, so he's back to being why the fuck are you even on this team? Looks like the rest of the bullpen's pitching decent, and Barnett's proving that I probably should have just cut ties with him. Like, what happened? It's the walks again. His control got better, but his walk rate has spiked again. Every time his control goes up, his walks also go up. I don't get it. But yeah, besides a couple underperforming players, the team's fine. Parker Meadows is well below average with the bat this year, but he's defending well, so whatever. Tanaka's actually kind of recovered, which is nice. His last season with the team won't be a complete tragedy. I'll move him up ahead of Parker Meadows, if that's the case. But like Green's hitting really well. He got off to a bit of a slow start, but now he's on pace for like an 8-WAR season this year. Keith's hitting really well. He's also on pace for like a 5-6 WAR season. Sean Noel's been fine. About a 132 OPS plus. That's about what I expect from him. Rose, I think I already showed him 20 home runs. Tommy Roberts is absolutely going the fuck off this year. Got the average at 333, the OBP at 475. He's not slugging, but I don't really care if he slugs. Like that's the entire point of Tommy Roberts is to fucking play god tier defense and fucking walk way more than you strike out, which has actually happened this year. He's walking at an 18% rate and striking out an 8.6% rate. It's very clear that he's definitely further improved from last year. He's taken quite the step in his second season, which is nice. Williamson is not hitting as well as I was hoping he would. I really hope that he turns this around because he's really fucking good, and it'd be an awful fucking shame if he turned into another William Sullivan. Bennett, 15 home runs, 149 WRC plus, elite defense. Honest to God, he might end up even being an MVP contender if this shit keeps up, because the biggest problem with him is that he had an inconsistent bat in years past, and his bat is well above average so far. His rotation's been fine with the exception of Matt Scott. Like, if you look at the team, and this is like a rarity for us, we are not bottom of the league in home runs. Like, historically, we've always been like 10th through 15th in home runs, but we're actually up to 9th. The rest of the lineup is like, the rest of these stats are good, and the pitching is still just as dominant as ever, as well as the defense. And for once, we're actually completely on with our fucking Pythagorean. Apparently, we're really struggling on the road. Let's get into the draft. I'll see you in a sec. Yeah, okay. So college players, the best player appears to be this Gabe Forsyth kid, 19 years old. Doesn't have a lot of eye, but he has a really good power bat. The problem is, I think he's like a JUCO kid. I don't think he's actually a true college player. Yeah, he's only 19 years old, from Portland, Oregon. Um, Also, low work ethic works against him. Ken Angus, no. Josh Babcock, no. Like, I like Babcock, but I'm not gonna take him. We're probably just gonna go with like a fucking high school kid, and the center fielder I really like. Yeah, we're gonna take Chris Mounds, Mondre, with our supplemental pick. Okay, that's not even our actual fucking draft pick. Wait, did we not have a first round pick? Or is this our supplemental pick? I don't know. And another guy that I kind of like. He has good work ethic. Welcome to the team. Another really good power hitting center fielder. The BABIP looks kind of not good with this guy, but I'm gonna take him. Eric Dietrich. I like this guy. Yeah, I like this guy, but again, I'm not the biggest fan of the lack of eye. But eye isn't something that's particularly hard to raise on players, so I don't know. I'm gonna take Ren because I like the guy's stats a bit better. Eric Dietrich. Wait, is he like a fucking? Yeah, he's an impossible sign. I can't take him. John Shoulders. I do like that. I holy duo and everything. Yeah, welcome to the squad, buddy. Sam Donahue. Sure, why not? Stevie K. Power hitting first baseman. At this point, we're in the middle rounds. Why the fuck not? Daniel Nito. Once again, sure, why the fuck not? Okay, that's just a BABIP guy. Damn, this draft kind of got the slim pickings faster than most. This draft was a bit top-heavy from the looks of it. Like, I'll take him. He's got high BABIP. I'll take that kid. But yeah, this draft kind of got the slim pickings faster than most from the looks of it, which is unfortunate. But because of this, I'm going to take the last 10 rounds off camera. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I'm actually here at the end of this season to I have like the records and everything blotted out, but I'm here to like do some pickup shots on the first year player draft of this season because we did get a really interesting draft class. 21-year-old center fielder from Rochester, New York, Steve Lucas, who looks insane. Great speed, great defense. This guy could genuinely be like one of the best center fielders in this game's history. He's durable, great personality. Like, we had a really good draft class this year. Steve Lucas was the first guy. Max Teixeira got taken second overall by the San Francisco Giants. I personally, like, there's no way of knowing this, but I'm assuming that this is, like, Mark Teixeira's kid. Like, it is Max Teixeira. He's a first baseman, switch hitter. So, yeah, I'm assuming that this is that this is Mark Teixeira's kid. But, really, really good bat. And he's, like, a fantastic defensive infielder, too. So, or a fantastic defensive first baseman, too. So that's quite impressive. He was taken second overall by San Francisco. Baltimore took Sean Swisher. Now, if this is actually Nick Swisher's kid, which I think it probably is, given that he's born in Columbus and all that, that would make him a third-generation baseball player, because Nick Swisher's father, Steve Swisher, was a baseball player too. So yeah, I think this is Nick Swisher's kid. Though obviously I don't think that this is a real player. But honestly, quite impressive from the looks of that. Beyond that, there was B.J. Benson, high school kid. Also quite impressive in terms of personality and all that. And then I'm pretty sure the last guy I found overly impressive was Jonathan Cummings. Or was it? No, it wasn't Vargas. I think it was just these top six picks that I found insanely impressive. I actually forgot to check on John Griffin. That's because John Griffin I didn't find all that impressive. But these top 5 picks I found incredibly intriguing. 2 sons of former big leaguers, and a guy out of RIT? Like, it makes sense, he's from Rochester, New York, but I don't think there's ever been a guy out of RIT to make it to the big leagues, let alone get taken first overall. That's impressive, I'll give him that. University of Maryland and Ohio State. Okay, so we're at the end of the draft period. Here's basically all of our, like, guys who asked for fucking contract negotiations. We're not going to sign these 2 because I didn't realize they were impossible signs. And I'm going to go into my transaction log. Here's all the picks we made in the draft. Post around 10, we took basically all of these guys. I'm not going to say their names. Last guy has 2 first names, Jonathan and Carl. That's kind of cool. But yeah, this was an interesting draft. It was quite front loaded, but there were some decent guys in the middle rounds. We'll see what happens. I don't know. At this point, I'm not overly focused on on drafting. Like, I have gotten some decent late to middle round picks over the last few years. But yeah, like, I don't know. I'm just kind of focused on trying to keep the fucking winning ways going, and like, yeah, drafting helps because it gives you a lot of fucking like prospects that you can move. But very few of these guys are actually making the team nowadays. Like, Tommy Roberts broke through onto the team. Zion Rose is on the team, but he got traded multiple times before he actually played a game for us. Bennett made the team. So we have like 3 guys who we drafted in the starting lineup. 4. No, he was acquired via trade. But yeah, the team. We've been making far more moves through like free agency and trades over the last few years to stay competitive. So I'm going to be honest. Like, when you've won 4 straight World Series, the draft episodes become a little bit less important. But with that, we're gonna move on to the onto the All-Star break. We'll see who gets there, who makes the game, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so we're day before the All-Star break, and here are the players who made the All-Star team for us: Jackson Jobe, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Chase Burns, Connor Bennett. He didn't make it. Colt Keith made it. Tommy Roberts made it. Riley Green, and apparently Rose wasn't good enough to make it. It's not really a surprise. He's really been kind of boom or bust this year. He's hitting like 241, but he has a lot of pop. He's just kind of not been hitting particularly well since the first month of the season. Sean Well not making it's not too surprising. He's having a good, not great season. Green making it's not surprising. Like, the man has torn the fucking cover off of the baseball since the first few weeks of the season. And the same goes for Keith, though not nearly to the same extent. Roberts making it isn't a surprise, neither is Bennett. They've both been hitting the ball insanely well. Williamson didn't make it, but that's because he's a barely above league average hitter at DH. Really getting fucking Williamson vibes at the moment. Mark Meadows didn't make it because he's hitting to a 68 WRC plus. I get it, you have 11 ZR in the outfield, but that's still not good enough. Surprised Kim didn't make it. He's pitching really well. But besides that, not too many surprises from who got on the All-Star team. We're gonna quickly sim through July to get to the All-Star break, or not the All-Star break, the trade deadline. I'll see you there. Okay, so I usually don't show who I pick up in the international free agency period, but this guy was particularly good, and this is also right at the end of the season, so this is all blacked out, and you can see what his stats were already. But Gok Song-ok, he started off with an insanely developed eye to begin with. The rest, he's not hitting particularly well, like, actually, when it comes to swinging the bat, though he does seem like a very intriguing player with that. He also has insane speed, but kind of limited defense. This kid has a lot of promise, Gok Sung-ok, but that's not what fucking brought my eye to him. He's from North Korea, and his second nation is South Korea, so he was born in Pyongyang. Now, I'm assuming what this means is that he was born in North Korea but defected to South Korea, which is hilarious. That we have an 18-year-old or a 16-year-old North Korean defector living who we signed out of South Korea with a massively developed eye, and he's a spray hitter, and he also has a good personality. This is kind of wild. Like, we paid him $6.1 million for it, and I'm gonna like quickly splice in the trade footage. Traded Mike Peace, Jesus Villalobos. We traded a bunch of like minor league pieces in order to acquire San Diego's $2.7 million of bonus pool money, and then we threw that bonus pool money at him, which, I don't know, maybe it's a short-term, maybe it's kind of like a short-sighted move. Maybe one or two of those guys will be decent. If they are, that's fine, because I am not exactly, I don't really care, if one of these pieces isn't great, because, like, hey, I should probably try and, like, realign what I'm saying here. I don't care if, like, one or two of those pieces is good, because I think that this guy is going to be something special. Now, again, I could be wrong. I might be wrong. But I'm willing to take that risk. And yeah, again, there's always risk in this sport, but when you see something like that, you gotta, like, go all out for it. Okay, so welcome to the day of the trade deadline. Your Detroit Tigers are 73-44. About 2 games below where the game really thinks we should be, and we have been stumbling so far into July. Not really down to our pitching, as our hitting has been substantially, like, okay, it's been kind of mid, but the pitching has been, like, completely night, and it's not fair to call the hitting mid. We still have the best WAR out of any team in the league. And it's kind of weird that our pitching is still as good as it is, given that, well, Matt Scott has completely forgotten how to throw a baseball. And Iwata has been kind of mid, and Shulver has also forgotten to throw a baseball, and Jeff Ocho has not thrown a baseball well all season. So yeah, our pitching has been quite weird. Shulver's kind of confused me. Honestly, like, I don't really know why he's struggling like he has of late. Especially given, like, it started right after we signed him to this contract. I don't get it. It has confused me, the struggles of AJ Smith-Shulver. Burns has pitched well, on the other hand, which is nice. So good for Burns. Very happy for him. Um, as I mentioned, Matt Scott's been struggling. Parker Meadows has completely forgotten how to swing a baseball bat with a 60 OPS plus, because why the fuck not? Though Riley Green has played quite well. Williamson's kind of struggled. Bennett's been fairly good. Keith and Shawnuel have basically been single-handedly holding this team together, along with Tommy Roberts. So like we have like 5 really good hitters at the top of our lineup, and then everything after that's kind of iffy. Really pissed off at Matt Scott. um, but while we're here, I actually think that we should look at our prospects. Ben Fletcher, David Colley, Nate Cook, and Dave DuPont are top 4 prospects at the moment. Recently joined by that Ook. I can't remember his name, but the North Korean kid. Yeah, we have like 5 really strong prospects. The problem is that none of these guys are really in spots that we have openings in at the moment. Like Nate Cook, maybe, and Ben Fletcher, maybe we can get him in over Parker Meadows in the future. But Dave Cooley is essentially wasted fucking space, because like we have 2 good catchers, and again, like, having a guy this good as a backup catcher is kind of pointless. Um, Especially considering our backup is a better defender, and that's really all you look for in a backup catcher. Um, Former 12th round pick of this team. It is kind of weird that a lot of our like really good prospects over the past few years have been late round guys. You think Tommy Roberts, you think Sean Armstrong, who we just moved, you think even Connor Bennett, our current catcher. Ben Fletcher, he's out for about 3 weeks. Might return. I'm thinking of playing him as the center fielder in the final month of the season, if Parker Meadows can't hurry it the fuck up and actually figure out how to hit a baseball. But with that, let's head to deadline day. This deadline, we really only have one goal, and that is pick up an extra reliever. And Portland just gave me the dumbest trade offer in history. Also, I didn't notice this because I'm doing the recording here post commentary. I didn't realize that the Angels offered us Justin Henry Malloy. The reason I'm doing this post commentary is because I was kind of like out of it when I recorded this. I don't really know why. I just haven't felt particularly well over the past few days, and I just kind of fucked up. But yeah, like we're looking for a reliever. I looked at Michael King and a few starters to maybe convert them into relievers, but I don't know. I don't feel like offering the type of prospect package it would take to get one of those guys. Also, that guy right there, I'm pretty sure I saw him in free agency the prior year. Though we do eventually look at Will Klein, the closing pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. Big problem with him. He has the same control problems that most people on this staff have, but we just kind of like fucking sent. But they really only wanted like a single mid-tier prospect, Randy Crockett. So we gave it to him for basically nothing. Yeah. In order to make room for him, we had to make not a particularly difficult call. We sent down Connor. No, I guess we already sent down Connor Bennett. We sent down Samar, but Connor Bennett we sent down earlier in this because he was really struggling, and we called up the young Genali Sobers, but for some reason I didn't bother showing him, so that's wonderful. Yeah, I care about the bullpen so much. But yeah, we that does turn out to be the only fucking move of the off season. So we're going to skip straight into the game that we played in this episode. Okay, into the game. We played against the Philadelphia Phillies. We started Matt Scott in this game against... I'm not really sure who their starter was, and I don't really care. Young. Oh wait, it wasn't. It wasn't him. It was Young So Kim, who was having a decent season at this point in the year. Um, First pitch was lined out to center field. Yeah, I don't know. Clean first for Kim. Clean first for the Phillies pitcher Duran. This game is actually kind of cool because these two teams have completed a lot of trades between each other in the past. We've traded them Armstrong, we've traded them Max Clark, who they have out in center, and Armstrong hits a fly ball the other way that Zion makes a nice catch. So one member of the trade flies out to the other here in the second. Jurowski Lane Jr. grounds out to first. 2 outs here in the second with a runner at third. The game did actually something here that really pissed me off. For some reason, because it wanted to rest a few of our players, it put in fucking... It decided to move Meadows to the leadoff spot, which one, I didn't want to rest the players, and two, I didn't want fucking Parker Meadows in the leadoff spot. Here with 1 out. I'm not sure who that is, but they fly out to dead center. Lombard tags to third. Juan Estrada. And Juan Estrada pops out to end the third. Nothing going for the Phillies. Okay, starting the bottom of the third, we got 2 on for Parker Meadows, who promptly, I'm pretty sure he flew out here. No, he lined out to center. Very big difference. It's basically the same thing though. An out on after a full count, and that brought up our newly extended man Colt Keith, who flew out deep to right. If I remember right, I actually thought that was a home run initially, but nope. Fuck me, I guess. No, wait, they didn't do it yet. Zion Rose came up here with Roberts on second and walked. So we had runners on first and second for Kenny. I can't pronounce his first name, but Williamson, who hit a bloop single to load the bases with nobody out here in the fourth. Masayuki Tanaka would just be absolutely the GOAT and line out to left. Nice. Bennett would also follow this up by grounding into a... No, wait, actually, I thought I remember him grounding into a double play. But no, he'd bring in a 2 RBI single, which would make the game 2-0 in the fourth. Up next, Vinny Pasquantino would hit a fly out to the second baseman, and then Lynn would line out to the right fielder to end the inning. There you go. Boom, I remember this. It's been like 4 hours. And an entire college lecture. And I still remember what happened in this fucking game. Though Kim would run into trouble in the fifth. Give up a hit here to make it a 1-run game. Yeah, he walks back to the dugout thinking how cool he is, but then Juan Estrada would follow it up by grounding into an inning-ending double play. Tigers still hold the lead here in the fifth. Parker Meadows would line a leadoff double. Colt Keith would follow it up by lining a deep fly ball to right. I thought he got this one too, but nope. 2 outs. Tommy Roberts would follow this up by not accomplishing anything and grounding out to short. Great job for the guy who was leading the league in WAR when this happened. And then Zion Rose would strike out to end the inning. Yep, told you. Through 5, Detroit still leads 2-1. Clean 6th inning. We'd leave Kim in to start the 7th. Clark would hit a leadoff single against he's not the young Korean, against the Korean veteran. After this, I'd have no idea who the fuck to go to because the bullpen had apparently been eaten alive in the game before this. I'm not quite sure why, but that's cool. And like he'd start off strong by getting a strike, but he'd strike out the first batter he faced. But shit would get a bit ugly from here. Jacob Lombard would drill Lombard on an 0-1 count. Then he'd walk Petrin. He'd walk Petrin to load the bases. Botts would hit a deep fly ball that would barely stay in the park. Green would fire it in, and the Phillies tied the game at 2 in the 7th. Before the next batter would fly out to end the inning. 2-2 through 7. The Tigers would quickly fucking respond to this with a leadoff double, or with a 2-out double by Colt Keith, and then a single by Tommy Roberts that somehow resulted in Roberts getting to second. He is the very definition of speed. Zion Rose would then follow this up with a double down the left field line, which would bring in another run. Tigers lead 4-2 here in the 7th. With this, the Tigers, Williamson would strike out. They'd actually walk Williamson, and Tanaka would strike out to end the inning. Or I can't remember. Did he strike out? No, he struck out. In the 8th, Ocho would run into trouble, and we would turn the ball over to AJ Smith-Shawver. I don't really trust AJ Smith-Shawver that much anymore, and my faith would be immediately reinforced. Well, actually, no. He'd get the first guy out. Very good on AJ Smith-Shawver. But then the very next batter would hit a single up the middle to make it a one-run game. And, well, he does, during the rest of this inning, get the next two batters out, if I remember right. Max Clark would ground into an inning-ending double play. The Tigers do not end up adding anything in the 9th. Yeah, it's very quick. And Shawver just doesn't have it in the 9th. And, like, I said this a few times in the commentary that didn't get used because I was very out of it. He was the only guy in the bullpen with one out. Lombard would fly out deep to center for the first out of the inning. Petrin would walk for the second time today. And this is where shit really falls off the goddamn wagon. The next at-bat is a bloop single, which results in one run scoring and the game being tied at 4. But, it's not all bad. Maybe he can work out of it. Estrada walks on a borderline fucking strike call, on a borderline ball call. Tanner McLean hits a fly ball, medium depth, which turns into a sac fly. And the game is basically... Well, it's not over, but it's not looking good for your Tigers. Armstrong grounds out to short. And the Tigers have 3 outs to rally. Do they have a rally in their bones? Well, let's see. Parker Meadows, who's not hitting at all this season, probably should have brought in fucking Green, but whatever. Parker Meadows is down on strikes. Colt Keith, so many clutch hits throughout the years. Hits a pop-up to the pitcher. For some reason, the shortstop decides to field it, because the pitcher clearly couldn't do that. But whatever. Roberts would walk on 5 pitches, and Zion Rose, center stage. Popped up. Playable. Ball game. The Philadelphia Phillies win 5-4. Unfortunate. But with that, we will see you next time. Thanks everybody for watching, folks. See ya.